Okay, so I decided I'd have time to do this flip through before I need to go pick up Sebastian from work. So hopefully he won't call in the middle of it because, like I said in the last video, I don't know how to pause the video and pick it up again. Um, anyway, so here's another junk journal that I recently finished. Really cool old textbook. I seem to find a lot of those old textbooks, reading books, typing books, stuff like that. So, and I guess maybe that's because they're usually really well made, and they're made to be sturdy and stand up to kids and stuff like that. So that could be why I find so many of them. But anyway, and also I think a lot of like thrift stores get donations from interesting places. But anyway, so here's this one. This is an old algebra book. It was in pretty good shape. It's first year algebra, nice and soft and kind of worn on the edges and stuff, but in really good condition structurally. So that's what I mean when I say it's in really good shape. So there's some scratches on the back, but who cares about that? Anyway, so put together or held together with one of the Tim Holtz little posts. You guys can see that. I'm sure you guys have seen those. And then, with a piece of seam binding. The piece on the front is basically a card that I made. I made up a whole bunch of them, and if you watch the video with the little mini pamphlet style junk journals, I used one of these, a smaller version, on the front of every one of those, and those were super fun to make. I just gessoed a card. Usually I use like one of these. I buy a lot of stuff that comes packaged with these. So I hate throwing them away, and so I have a lot of them. Anyway, so I just gesso them, and then they're nice heavy weight. But either that or I use like watercolor paper. That's because it's pretty sturdy. I love using watercolor paper because of its structure. Like it's just real thick, and it's thicker than cardstock, so it just stands up to a lot more wear. Anyway, so, and then there's like this is a postcard. I cut out the image on the postcard and decorated it with some lace and some paper flowers and stuff like that. So anyway, pretty self-explanatory there. So I'll do a little flip through on it. And I'm sure you guys are starting to see some similarities in the junk journals that I've been producing lately, and that's because a lot of them were made at the same time. Like, I get them all to a certain stage, and then once I get to the point where they're ready to have, the cards and tags inserted and the embellishments and stuff attached, that's when I really start having fun with it and put to use all of the things that I prepared ahead of time. And I'm going to make a video and show you guys my my stash of tags and things like that I use to fill these books, and kind of talk to you about my process there too. So anyway, so here we go. This is a cover from some sheet music. Just use the back of it. And this pocket, this is made out of watercolor paper. I just actually made up a whole bunch more of those because I ran out. Anyway, and these are some little cards out of that Tim Holtz, one of those collections that you can pick up at like Joann's or whatever. sure you recognize a lot of this stuff. You know, I don't feel like spending money on downloads like vintage ephemera and stuff like that. I just don't want to spend the money on it, and because I know that there's so much free imagery out there. I mean, I do buy that Tim Holtz stuff, but usually it's because I have like 50% off coupon, and it's right there in your face, and so why wouldn't you buy it? But as far as purchasing, ephemera and download it. Well, first of all, I don't have a color printer, so that kind of helps with that decision. But anyway, I will go to the library and get old clip art books or books on like a time period, like from like the 20s and 30s or something, and I'll scan the pictures and print them out, and that kind of stuff. I'm not above doing that, so I've done that quite a bit actually. That's from a magazine. I can't remember the name of it. Can't remember. I'm gonna start taking ginkgo biloba. I have a horrible memory. Another cover from some sheet music. Audrey Wilcott. It says on there. They don't use names like that anymore. Audrey. It's a pretty name. If I had a daughter, I'd give her a cool name like that. I have 5 sons, so and they all have cool names. But that's the best part of having a baby, is getting to give it a name, right? Just kidding. But it's kind of fun. This is a children's music book, like for music class, Another textbook that I got thrift store. Oh, it's like a little pamphlet sewn on the sewing machine. I made that a long time ago. I made a whole bunch of them. Not coffee dyed, which I would like it better if it was coffee dyed, but it's not. Little cluster. Oh, didn't realize there was a pocket on that. It's just another folded up sheet of coffee dyed paper. I thought it would look kind of cool to do maps like that. Scrapbook paper. Like a map. These little tags are just pieces of canvas that I soaked in really strong coffee and then dried it in the oven, and it actually burned a little bit, which I thought looks kind of cool. Anyway, and it tears really easy, but that's what those little tabs are. It's that canvas. This is just a little booklet made out of sheets from a different old math book. I should make some more of those. I have all that book paper from those math books saved. I should just do that. I'm always trying to think of stuff to do with book pages. I made a whole bunch of like envelopes and stuff like that, but I need to use it more. I must be tired. I'm not very talkative. I guess there's not really too much to talk about with this book, but it's all pretty cut and dried. But I do like the idea of doing the flip through videos of things that I have for sale, just because I think it's nice to be able to actually, it's the best next best thing to, you know, actually seeing it in person and that kind of thing. So at least you get to see every page to see if you really like it or not. I suppose that takes a little bit of the excitement out of it when you buy something like this. And that's not the only reason that I decided to make some videos. I do like to share, and you know, there's not a whole lot of people in the world that are really into making junk journals. So I thought, you know, I've watched hundreds and hundreds of them, of different artists that have made these type of journals, and I just thought, well, you know what, they can do it, I can do it, and it's my chance to kind of give back a little bit. I love when those lines come out from the rack that I put on the cookie sheet in the oven when I coffee dye. I love it when those lines come out perfect so that you can use them for writing on. from some, oh, it's a sewing, instructional sewing book from like the 40s. I actually made and sold a journal that that page came out of. I think the lady that bought it was in, I think she's in Japan, actually, that journal. Which is kind of cool. I don't know. I think that's kind of neat. I have one customer who's purchased a few journals from me that lives in Australia, which is kind of cool. I like shipping stuff to other countries. I think it's just so interesting that, you know, something I made is in Japan or is in Germany or, you know, something like that. It's just really kind of makes me feel good. Like I said, I do try, like I'm so tempted to like attach something here and then slip something in there and, you know, sort of over embellish, but, and I hold myself back because I feel like people want to be able to do that kind of thing for themselves too. I mean, I have books where I've really gone crazy and done that, but kind of have been holding back a little bit lately. Okay, so there's that one. And like I said, I am going to try to get this listed on Etsy here in the next couple of days, along with this one. And I have actually quite a few journals that I need to finish up and get out there so I can make room for more for more journals. So, well, thank you for watching, you guys. Have a good night.